Meanwhile, Charlie, Terry Moran, who used to be an ABC News reporter, he kind of went a little crazy.
I guess he's kind of having this come to Jesus after the fact because he lost his job and he doesn't really know what to say. What he's saying.
He's right. These newsrooms at most of the mainstream networks, they are full of Democrats and they don't want to cover Donald Trump fairly.
I see it so often when I used to cover, the Trump rallies when I worked on Sean's show, and I used to go to every rally, talk with the people, and just the gasp from the other reporters.
You live here, you contribute to the mess, so you also should be contributing to the cleanup.
Click that reacts. They only show one side of the tracks, so don't get mad when click that reacts.
Click that Patriots. Welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for being here. And this is Fox News. All right. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'll keep it 100% honest. I get most of my news from like social media, things like that. Ground News is a great one, but they are not sponsoring this video, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. Ground News, y'all want me to give you a plug? Sponsor me. But anyway, but I do, every once in a while, turn on some CNN or some Fox News or something like that. And I can definitely say that some of them are more biased than others. But anyway, the video that we're reacting to today comes by a way of Fox News. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here and checking out this video with me here today. If you haven't already, take about 2 seconds to go ahead and click that subscribe button, give it a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from me. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Meanwhile, Charlie, Terry Moran, who used to be an ABC News reporter, he kind of went a little crazy in the middle of the night, went after Stephen Miller. He's doing some looking back at his network that he was there for almost 30 years.
All right, this is what he said to Substack. He said, "Were we biased? Yes, almost inadvertently, I'd say. ABC News has the same problem so many leading cultural institutions do in America, a lack of viewpoint diversity. There are hardly any people who supported Donald Trump at ABC News or the other corporate legacy mainstream news networks. And this is bound to impact coverage. Yes, news teams go out with a microphone and a camera and accost people at Trump rallies. But to me, that often comes off as weirdly anthropological and inaccurate, kind of like trying to understand nature by visiting a zoo."
And of course,
right.
If you remember, Terry Moran blew himself up.
All right. So before he gets to who Terry Moran is, I have to say, that is 100% true. And this is why you have to be careful with what you're listening to, right? What you pouring into you or who you're letting pour into you. All right. I'm being honest with you. Everybody's going to be a little bit biased, depending on if they're left leaning or right leaning or what kind of experiences that they had in their life, right? Everybody's going to be a little bit biased to a certain extent. All right. But you would think that as a news organization, right, as an official news organization, you would think that they would have a little bit of everybody from all sides. Right. So this way, their viewers can at least get a little bit of a perspective from each side. And it will be the news company's job to vet who is the best from each side or, the best prospect to represent each side on their station, right? But instead, these companies are not doing that, right? The company they've already decided who it is or what side it is that they're on, and they stick to that side no matter what. They do not deviate from the plan. And this right here is what's called brainwashing, right? You're basically brainwashing a person to look at your views, right? You're lying to your media. You're lying to your viewers here, basically, because you are an official news company. It's different if you're an individual person on YouTube or something like that. But a lot of people still turn to the news and they just blindly believe whatever it is they see on the news, if it's what it is they want to believe, right? And this is where I kind of, give Fox News a little bit of credit, because it does seem like Fox News does its best to try to not be too biased on either side here. They do try a little bit harder than the other news organizations to give you the facts of the story, no matter what it is. And they cover both sides. They talk good about Trump. They talk bad about him. They talk good about Biden or Kamala. They talk bad about Kamala and Biden, right? So they're doing their best to try to stay neutral. I will kind of give them credit on that. Either way, though, I still would not trust news organizations fully and wholeheartedly. I'm going to do my due diligence. If it's something on the news that interests me enough, I'm going to do my due diligence to pay attention to every word they say, because they're smart with their word choices, right? And then after that, if I still got time and I cared about the story that much, I'm going to do my due diligence and looking it up and doing as much research into that story as possible. All right. But basically here, the guy that they're talking about, the guy that's in question, I guess he was fired from ABC News, and he's kind of spilling the beans here a little bit about how ABC News is biased against Republicans and biased against Donald Trump. Right. So this right here lets you know that if you're paying attention to ABC News, or I'll even go ahead and throw MSNBC and CNN into that category as well, right? That lets you know that you're not getting the facts. You're not getting the full truth. You're getting their filtered, altered version of reality, because this is the way they want to see things. So this is how they're going to push it out to you. Because they don't want you to see the whole truth, because the only thing that they can think of is that they hate this guy so much and they hate this other side so much that they're not going to tell you the truth about that side. They want you to hate them just as much as they do. This is how it works. Always has. Anyway, let's get back into it.
A couple of months ago, by going on just an incredible screed against Stephen Miller, talking about basically accusing him of being a racist. The thing about Stephen Miller is not that he is the brains behind Trumpism. Yes, he is one of the people who conceptualizes the impulses of the Trumpist movement and translates them into policy. But that's not what's interesting about Miller. It's not brains, it's bile. Miller is a man who is richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. He's a world-class hater. And I hate to say it, but Terry Moran that version of Terry Moran perfectly encapsulates the way the vast majority of the media, in particular the political media, approaches not just Donald Trump, but the people who support Donald Trump, normal people across the country. And so I guess he's kind of having this come to Jesus after the fact, because he lost his job and he doesn't really know what to say. What he's saying now is correct. It is an anthropological study that they're doing. They treat us like zoo animals.
Well, see, the reason why they do that, though, is because they're under contract, right? When you go to work for a company, unfortunately, you have to now fall in line with that company's beliefs. And hopefully that company has a good belief system. This is also doing your proper vetting into that company or that organization that you are now going to decide to work for, because you are willingly signing up for this. You're willingly signing up for this. All right. So if that's what this organization believes in, hey, you might not believe in it, but now you can't say it. You can't say it. And I don't know what kind of life that is to have to live that kind of life, because now, since you done signed this contract with this company or this organization, and now since you work for them, whatever that company believes in, you now have to believe in it. And now maybe when you go home and all the cameras is off and nobody's paying attention, hopefully there's somebody on your team that you can go ahead and talk to about it and tell them your real ideas, and all this stuff that you've putting out on the internet or into the news is just a whole bunch of woo, 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 because I'm being paid for, I'm being bought. I don't want to lose my job. I got to support my family. And unfortunately, that's what happened here in this situation, right? He was fired. Who knows? I don't know why. Don't know. I haven't looked into the story too much, but maybe he was giving a little pushback to the higher ups and they didn't like it.
It's like it doesn't work.
Well, at its core, it's hard to cover people that you hate.
Exactly.
You can't cover, you can't empathize, you can't tell their stories if you hate the people that you cover. I mean, I see it so often when I used to cover, the Trump rallies when I worked on Sean's show. And I used to go to every rally, talk with the people, and just the gasp from the other reporters. Even when, just a basic thing, when we have our live shots going on, the national anthem plays. I mean, it's just American. This has nothing to do with MAGA. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Stanley, put your hand on your heart.
Right.
Respect the country that you're. Many of them just in their phones, that not even respect for the country.
Right.
And so these are the type of people that you have out there that are covering the election. That's why their prediction, all the polling was wrong. They've gotten it wrong, because they never talk to the other side.
Yeah, and they don't ever learn. They don't ever learn from.
Let me give a shout out to this brother right here, man. I really appreciate him saying that, because that is a fundamental core belief of mine too. Whether you like the people in this country or not, whether you like the president or not, whether you like your government or not, the fact of the matter is you still live here. So you still should be proud to represent this country. And you should be going out there to do your best to make this country a better place every single day. Every day that you're here. When you're within your house, you do everything to make your house a better place, right? So look at the country as your house. When you walk out of your house, you are now into a bigger part of your house. Look at it like this. Your house is just a room inside of a bigger house. All right? So it ain't just your responsibility to just keep your room clean. No, you need to help everybody else clean up this house too. You live here, you contribute to the mess. So you also should be contributing to the cleanup.
He's right. These newsrooms at most of the mainstream networks, they are full of Democrats, and they don't want to cover Donald Trump fairly. Even like the Russia hoax, that was a perfect example. They never wanted to correct the record or say that they had made mistakes. Right. It's when Terry Moran's fired, 28 years at ABC, and then he wrote that about Stephen Miller. The post is now deleted, but he's fired, and now he's admitting to what's happening in these newsrooms.
At the heart of it, it's a prejudice,
28
and it's a closed-mindedness.
years.
I spent 15 years covering politics, mostly Democrats, and you have to approach all of these people who support somebody. You might not agree with them, but you have to approach it with an open mind,
right? And try to understand.
Yeah. It's like, well, maybe I'm missing something here, but you try to do it with you can never show that contempt.
That's right.
Or hatred.
Am I the only one? I feel like conservatives do listen to the other side. They might not agree with you, but they're civil about it. I feel like Democrats, it is about hatred.
Yep. So true.
It helps to always figure you're probably wrong.
Right.
As I do.
Hey, and you know what? She said it beautifully right there. I'm not really 100% sure of what her name is. I'm 0% sure of what her name is because, like I said, I really don't get into the news too much. But she said it perfectly right there. You should at least hear the other side's argument. Even if you don't agree with it, you should at least give it some thought and some consideration. You can't just immediately, as soon as they hand it to you, throw it in the trash. You haven't even opened it up. You haven't looked at it yet. You haven't inspected it. You haven't tried it out. Nothing. You don't even know if it's a good product yet. You haven't read the reviews about the product. You haven't given it a chance. You haven't tried it. You haven't plugged it in, turned it on. You haven't looked at it. Nothing. They handed you a product. They told you it was going to work for you. You don't like that person. So as soon as he handed you this, you threw it away. You didn't even know. It might have made your life a little bit easier. But just because you hate this person, you hate their beliefs, you hate the other, you hate the other side so much that you're not even willing to give it a chance. And that, in my opinion, is a very huge problem for anybody that lives like that, right? Anybody that has that kind of mindset, that is a very huge problem. And America has not advanced to the point that it's at now with that way of thinking. I give you another fun fact, and this is a little bit of homework for you guys, right? You can Google it after this. A fun fact is that back in the day, way back in the day, people actually used to believe that if men traveled faster than the speed of a horse, that our bodies simply would not be able to take it. And they would like break apart, or our skin would peel off, or whatever else would happen, right? But our bodies wouldn't be able to withstand that kind of speed, all right? I think it was the train industry that went ahead and challenged that idea anyway. And fortunately, both sides heard each other out. And so they went ahead and they moved forward with the idea that men are able to travel faster than that. And we went ahead and we put it to the test, and we just simply tried it out. You know what? Hey, I don't agree with you on this, but I'm willing to at least give it a shot. We'll give it a chance. We'll try it. Let's see what happens. And look at us now today, man. Now we got bullet trains, right? So go ahead and let me know what you guys think about that. Go ahead and Google that story, Google it for me. And if I'm wrong on that story, please let me know down in the comment section below. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? About what I said? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down there. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here with me. And if you haven't already, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss a video, and go ahead and hit the like button so you see more content like this. It helps out the algorithm. All right. But anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
They only show